Oh, I've got one that we use, I use in class, probably use it tomorrow in undergraduate class. Most ag teachers in this state teach in multiple teacher departments. But most departments in this state are single teacher departments. What defines a single teacher department?
One teacher, singular teacher.
One
per
teacher.
school.
Okay? Wait a second, you just said that most departments are single teacher department, but most ag teachers teach in multiple teacher departments.
Yeah.
They may be the only person in 3 departments.
There are about 1,000 of them, so about 550 are single teacher departments. The other 450 departments are multiple teacher departments. By definition, what do they have?
More than one.
More than one teacher. So there's 900 or 1,200 or so, 1,500 teachers in those multiple teacher departments, and fewer, obviously, in the more single teacher departments. Oh, is that one of those cases of statistics lie and liars? Figures lie and liars figure? I think that's how this word goes. So, you got central tendency, mean, median, mode. And then we immediately have to go, we've already done so, we have to go to distribution. Don't ever give me, ever is a long time. You don't want to tell someone, the average, the mean, median, and mode without telling them also then something about the variability. Okay? What is another word for variability? Distribution. Dispersion. Okay? You'll see those terms. And what are some measures of variability?
Frequency, percentages, proportions, range.
Interquartile range.
Okay? Yeah.
Semi-interquartile range.
Semi.
Is it really continuous like that?
There are, as Keegan would say, 7 or 5 measures of dispersion, or measures of variability, or measures of what was that, a distribution. Okay? If you have nominal data, how are you going to represent the dispersion, the variability of those nominal data?
Frequency,
With
percentage.
frequencies, a frequency distribution, and percentages. Or, you know, you might do quarters. Okay, might be quarters. Could be quarters. If you have ordinal data, how might you represent the dispersion?
Bar chart.
You could use a bar chart, so you could use the same kinds of things that you use for nominal data. What else might you use? Here we've got frequency of smoking as an ordinal variable. We've got the frequency distribution. What else can we say?
Pie chart.
We use a pie chart, use a bar chart. All of those are based on frequencies, percentages, that sort of thing. What else could we use?
For ordinal data, when you're ranking it, could you use like a scale of 1 to 5, of like bad to great or whatever?
Okay.
Good, bad, bad, and then put like,
Like
or
a
like
line.
satisfied, unsatisfied, and then scale of 1 to whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what
But
you're
does
saying.
that
Then
suggest,
so now what do you do with it?
does that suggest
And
a
then
level of
you get-
regularity versus like smoking example?
Well, doesn't that still fall under ordinal and not variable because it's,
So now you change the never smoke to a 0.
right?
0 just means the same as never smoked.
But it wouldn't be a variable, right? It would just
It's
still be-
value, it's still a value, okay? And you changed party smoker
I
to
mean,
a 1,
It wouldn't be a variable, it wouldn't be interval, I'm sorry.
not interval, that's right. And you changed
So that's still
the
ordinal.
some
not-
smoke every day to a 2, and a pack a day to a 3. Now you got 0, 1, 2, 3. How are you gonna display how else could you display the variability other than categorical? Oh, that was a term we didn't use, did we? What's categorical data?
Any of the above, technically.
You make sections, well, like a description of what it is, or what category it falls under, or what level?
Yeah, what,
The
what,
definition.
Categorical, isn't that where you make sections, and it falls in either of these sections, like 10 to 20, 20 to 40?
okay, so is categorical variables or categorical data, is that related to,
It's
is
not
that
really-
more nearly related to nominal and ordinal data or to interval and ratio data? It's nominal and ordinal. You may say, oh, wait a second, I see categories. I'm in my 20s. Okay? When you say you're in your 20s, that's from 20 to 29. Okay? No, I'm in my 30s. 30 to 39. Or 40s, 40 to 49. Is that still interval data now?
Yes.
Wait, what? Interval?
Is categories 20 to 29, 30 to 39,
Yes.
40 to 49 still interval data?
Yes.
Even
But
though
what
it's
about, what
categorized.
if you're 39 and the next person is 42? Those two categories, you're 3 years apart, but the categories are 10 years apart.
But the
But
categories
the
are
categories are
racially-
what matters.
It's a,
Huh?
if you group them, so yes, because the categories are the same evenly spaced.
no.
I mean,
That's
interquartile
not
is
a
technically a category.
So all of a sudden then, when you group, and we're gonna come to that, when you group interval or ratio data, it remains ordinal, but it loses. We may still kind of treat it like, in fact, what is the midpoint of 20 to 29?
24.
Be careful about this.
And then you're doing that, then you're doing that.
Yeah, we're doing that thing.
24 and a half.
I'm gonna
No,
say,
20 to
That
29.
was painful enough.
It's really 20 to 30. Okay,
So 25?
so 25, isn't it?
Why?
But if it were,
79.
so now, tell me, so what I have teachers.
Yes, because
I have public school teachers. And I ask them to indicate their age. I don't want to ask them their age, but I'll put them in categories. They're pretty apt to put themselves into categories. Okay? So I have half of them say they're in their 20s and half of them that say they're in their 30s. Okay? What's the average age?
25. I don't know.
30.
Half are in their 20s, half are in their 30s.
Half are in their 20s and half are in their 30s.
Oh, yeah, you're 30.
You think it's 30, don't you? But it's not.
Is it 29?
You're 31.
It's not either one of those. We don't know what it is, but I can tell you it isn't 30. You know why I can tell you it isn't 30?
Why?
When do people start teaching typically?
When they're young, like 23.
24.
23. How many 20-year-olds are there teaching?
Very few.
Very few. So is really the midpoint of the teachers in their 20s, is the midpoint really 25? No, it's a whole lot closer to 26 or 27. Is the midpoint of the 30 to 39 really 35?
Could be.
Maybe.
It could be, but guess what? There aren't nearly as many 39-year-olds teaching as there are 30-year-olds. right?
They get tired.
Because they get out.
So it's your new fight.
The attrition rate. Now, you know, and I know there are anomalies where I talked to, talking to a woman last night, and she had stopped out to have children and was out of the teaching profession like from, 24 to 33 or something, and she got back into teaching. So she would be one of those that would contribute to the 36, 37, that kind of thing. But in the main, there are more 30-year-olds than there are 39-year-olds. But there are more 29-year-olds than there are 20-year-olds.
Yeah, because they're still in college.
Because typically they're still in college.
Sorry, that was rude. For that to be still there.
No, exactly. So that's a whole nother lesson about what happens, what are you doing? We sometimes do that with things like age and what other variable that we often ask about people, and we want to know about their operations, or we want to know about their jobs, and we want to know about how successful they've been. What else do we ask them? Education level, and that's usually ordinal. We usually don't ask them how many grades did you complete, which would be sort of ratio data. We just say we make it nominal, but the names are sort of ordinal. What else do we ask them? This is a follow-up study of graduates. What else do we sure want to know about them?
How
Want
much
to know if they're
they
employed or
make?
unemployed.
Income?
We want to know their income. How do you ask them their income?
Brackets.
Yeah, we almost always do a range. Seldom. We may ask them their age. Just how old are you? Blank years of age.
Whoa.
But
I'm asking months and days and stuff. Just being sarcastic. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Sorry.
touche.
You can do the same with
Yeah, you put
taxes.
us through that.
Yeah.
We about it out.
Uh-huh. So when we come to something like income, we want to put it in the category. What does that do to the quality of our data?
It makes it worse.
Diminishes.
It
It
makes us less precise, but it may allow us to get some data.
More survey takers.
Better to get. It's a trade-off. Do you want to get a response, or do you want to get something accurate? Okay, you say, I want to get something accurate. Okay, just ask them then how many dollars and cents did they make last year? Nobody will fill it out. You thought by God, you went through a research class that said if you can get the ratio data. If you lost money, tell us how much you lost. If you made money, tell us how much you made to the penny. You don't get any data.
Well, a lot
What's
of people
better
don't
than
know that.
Huh?
A lot of people don't know that.
That either.
So it's easier to do a range and just.
So not only is it easier, but it may be in the long run more fruitful.
Well, and wouldn't it be easier to explain too, rather than just having a bunch of income numbers? You can just give a generalization.
If everyone would give me their exact income, what could I get from that?
Like a mean.
We could get a precise mean. The average income was $38,226.12 for a beginning employee or a beginning graduate from my program. Okay?
Then you've got self-reported data.
Sure, it's just self-reported. Yeah, it's self-reported. So, can we get an average? Can we get an average? What kind of averages could we get from categorical income data?
No.
You can get mode.
Median.
You can get median. Is that all?
You can
You could get a mean, right?
You can
Yeah,
get
great.
the grouped mean. How do you get the grouped mean? We won't go there. I'll just leave that hanging for you. I won't have it on the test.
Just right
Okay.
here.
Just hang it out there.
Okay.
Just figure it out for yourself. How do you get mean from grouped data? I'll give you a little hint. I'll give you a little hint. Think about that category and what's in that category and what are you assuming about everyone in that category? What do you kind of have to assume? I'll just stop there and then you figure out what you have to assume and then use that as your value, your precise value. Yes, ma'am.
It's a little early in the class, but are we gonna, before we leave today, go over a little bit of how we need, like, good studying for the test, or what to expect?
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't know, I just
Yeah.
thought of that.
We're doing that now.
Well,
Okay.
yes, but.
Yeah, we're doing that now. It's mostly repeat kind of stuff.
Would you mind now sharing the format of the test, so as we're discussing for the rest of
yeah,
the class, I can get an idea
The,
of how
the,
that's.
the format will be much less mathematics and much more in the way of definitions and words and applying those words to situations. Will it be multiple choice or fill in the blank?
Are the questions similar to the way that you're phrasing questions now, so that you're applying terms?
Yeah, but it will be much, I intend for that, I suspect that the explanation or the lead-in will be longer than just, what do you call an average? It may be something like, there are various terms used to describe average. What are some of those terms, rather than a term for average, or terms for average are, would be a little bit more precise. Statisticians may, rather than use the term average,
Central.
talk about rather than, what is another word for average? Does it mean typical? Does it mean central tendency? I don't think a statistician would talk about typical.
So you
People out
don't,
on the street would.
do you then want both us to be able to compare and contrast what's socially acceptable versus what's statistically acceptable, or just give the?
Here's the thing that I would say about a multiple choice, about any recall kind of question. For graduate students, that's really hard. You've got all this stuff running through your mind and you want to be expressive. So if it's multiple choice, I don't understand this goofball's question. I think this is what he means, but I'm going to tell you what I mean out here to the side. There's not so many of us that you can explain your answers. I don't want it to all be, it's not going to be some long essay exam. But for any question, you'll be able to explain your answer.
So more like a short answer type.
Well, but there'll be what I would say is a correct short answer.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that you can't explain to me, I understand all this stuff. I don't understand your stupid question. And you don't have the opportunity, in a test to say, well, explain what you mean, what you're asking there. Could you restate the question?
Post these
You have that in
Are you gonna post those videos before the test?
are they not posted?
I don't know.
If they want, we have it.
I didn't look. And I don't know what to look for. Are they on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube's where
What do
We
we?
just like search your name.
you can.
I'm gonna find out right now.
What do we Google? Or what do we YouTube? Whatever it's called.
Looking.
Is there gonna be math on it, or just definitions?
There will be At this point, there's no math.
At this point.
At this
We'll see where we get.
Give it 5 minutes. Well, one dumb question, that's all it takes. Don't math.
Yeah,
Are we allowed to have like a little note card or write little notes or something?
nah, don't.
Like, can we bring
This-
our definition
This ought to be,
Can we use
these
our
questions, seriously, this exam should be walk-around knowledge. Okay? What I make a huge distinction between walk-around knowledge and at your fingertip, be able to get it out of a book somewhere or another. There are some things that you should have that are walk-around knowledge. I hear folks all the time saying, well, today's students, they don't have to know anything, they just have to know where to find it.
That's not always true.
Yeah, that's right, that's not always
It
true.
might be true, but it's not always true.
It's not always true. I think there are some basic kinds of things that you should have as an educated person as walk-around knowledge. You don't need a book. You don't need to look it up. You know it. It is personal knowledge for you. And this should be a test of personal knowledge, of information that you should possess and keep with you for the rest of your academic and professional career. You should always, you should never forget. You know what learning is? How do you define learning? Here's what some guy said, or gal, and I say that's really what learning is. It's a relatively permanent change in behavior. Not load and dump. That's not learning. That's what too many undergraduates do, is load and dump. You're great at that. Most of you wouldn't have gotten here without being good at load and dump. But, we go back to beginning biology, and you don't remember. You remember the words eukaryote and prokaryote and that kind of stuff, but you don't know what they mean. You remember you had that, and you got it right on the test, but you don't know what it means anymore. Because it's not walk-around knowledge. Some stuff should be. If you're going to be master's, PhD graduate in this program, you don't know what mean, median, mode is, that ain't good. That ain't right, folks. That just ain't right.
The only videos you have up are of cows.
Yeah, I can't find it.
I would still watch them.
I found football
I mean,
players.
No, don't watch them.
I want to see them now.
Turn the volume up.
She's watching it.
Should we search for something else other than your name?
No, I don't guess so. Oh, is this one on the?
You ready some toss?
Yeah.
Or do you, what are their names?
What, yeah, do you know the name by its
Do I
it's called?
have a baby after me yet?
No,
It's
remember I told y'all quickly.
Oh, yeah. Get it right.
Can you recognize the tone? You know some of this?
I don't. Is there a heifer? It looks like a heifer calf. What's her number?
She's
Oh,
noisy.
She's sad.
She's 460.
She's gone. He's like,
She went to the sale bar.
She gone.
You can look that up under American Scimitar Association and look up B460 and there'll be about under B460 under herd animal search under the tattoo and you'll find it. BSR. Her name is something BSR Brianna or BSR Bobette or BSR
Bessie.
Bessie. Probably not Bessie. It will be later in the alphabet.
made a pumpkin.
They all start with B's.
Huh?
Their names all start with B's.
Yes. They all start with B's if they were born in 2014.
Oh.
Because the code letter for 2014 was B.
That's nominal
Do you
data.
have any?
It is nominal
Way to
data.
go.
But actually,
I'm learning.
Are we gonna have
But-
that kind of example?
you know, no, actually,
That should be.
actually,
Get excited.
Carly, it's actually not, ordinal
It's
data.
ordinal as well.
Because a B animal is older than a C animal.
Because it's by date.
Yeah.
Man, I'm learning.
Yeah.
That's some permanent knowledge. Just concrete.
I know,
I
right.
Permanent knowledge.
got concrete up
You got
here.
some learning.
We've gotta use your cattle
It's
operation
nominal
for
too,
all
though,
of
because
our-
you're using the
It's
name in
nominal,
order
yeah,
to
all
indicate the
data-
age, the
All
ordinal
data,
value.
if one of those is nominal, if it's one of the above.
There we go.
Okay, we gotta keep.
Back to variability, okay? Back to variability, frequencies, okay? And frequency distributions and percentages. And we have these ordinal data. How else can we describe them other than what measures central tendency for ordinal data? Well, sure, you can use mode, but it may not be the best one.
Median is for ordinal.
Median, why would you want to use median? Because they
Because it
are
goes in order
ordered, and you
instead
can
of-
find the middle one.
It gives you like a center of mass. So to
Yeah.
speak.
Okay? What else can you use other than frequencies and percentages?
A range.
We could use a range because they're from no smoking to a pack or more a day. Okay? Anything else?
Did you say variance?
Yeah. Is that interval?
If you can put them in order, if you can put them into some kind of order and you can figure the median, if you can figure the median, what else can you fit? Can you compute? Not standard deviation necessarily,
Range.
not variance.
Parameters? No.
You can compute quartiles, and if you can compute quartiles, you can compute interquartile range, and if you can compute interquartile range,
Semi-interquartile range.
semi-interquartile range, okay?
What is semi-interquartile range?
Half the interquartile range.
No,
Jeopardy.
he was answering you.
Huh?
Jeopardy style. That's what we're going for.
Oh, I'm supposed to ask you that.
That's right. I'll take terms for 200.
So ordinal data, anything we can use with nominal data, plus we can do median, all of the aisles, and whatever aisles divide stuff into. The halves, what aisle do we use to divide an ordinal data into halves? What aisle?
Semi-interquartile. No, sorry.
Which, there's one
Second.
aisle that
Second.
divides them into
The
half.
second,
The second what?
quartile.
Quartile. Any other aisle?
Median aisle.
Well, there's a percent.
Which percent?
50.
The 50th percentile. Okay?
Because it's a point.
Because it's a line, it's a point, it's a without any width. Okay? An aisle. We could use the 5th non-aisle. Or
Yes.
maybe it's the
No,
4th.
it would
I don't
be
know.
fifth, you're right. It's just,
Or the 5th, whatever it is. If there are 9 of them, 5th one, okay. 9 of them divides something into how many parts? 9 aisles divides them into 10 parts, doesn't it? So the 5th one, not the first one, not the 9th one, but the 5th one would divide them into halves. I don't know what a half aisle, I could say something.
Vial.
Could say something that, yeah, is it a vial? Or, sometimes when you're half, I don't know what it is. Think of something that would be half, that we probably ought to use. So if we can do quarters, or we can do percentages, and if we can do percentiles, Now, can we do a percentile? Can we do the 75th percentile with nominal data?
No, not unless it's also,
Doesn't make any sense, does it? What's 25% above blue-eyed?
unless you know
That's
that
right.
blue eye is 6%
It's not ordinal data. So
That's true.
percentile, 75th percentile, 90th percentile, 50th percentile doesn't mean anything in nominal data. It means something in ordinal data, which means it means something with all the other levels. Okay? We said we can do median. If we can do median, we can do aisles of all sorts. The ones that we learned, that we talked about, we didn't learn this as percentiles. We all know percentages, and we use percentiles for percentages. That's really the only way that I can remember how the quarters are separated, by which aisles. Because if we're at the 90th percentile, is that toward the top or the bottom?
towards the top.
That's toward the top. So the third quartile divides which quarters?
The top.
The first quartile, the third quartile. First and second, that's right. The first quartile divides the third from fourth. Just like the 25th percentile divides the third from fourth. So it's 3, 2, 1, divide them into quarters 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that really important for you to, probably not. You know. Probably isn't gonna get you fired or something if you.
Is it gonna give us a bad grade on our test?
Can imagine it.
Let's get done.
So if you had,
Whatever it is.
let's say you had ordinal data and there's 10 entrants, they're not interval, you don't know how far apart they are. There's 10 different answers you can get. How do you find the median?
It's between the 5th and 6th one.
Right, but if you can't average them out because they're non-interval or
You just say it's
you're saying
between
between.
strong and stronger, rather than weak or whatever. Top.
Weaker.
Weak, strong, stronger, strongest. They're 10 and they're 5, they're 3 and 2 would be between strong and stronger. Okay? Because stronger is stronger than strong. Could line them up. Can we get quarters, quartiles, and interquartile range with ordinal data? How do you get quartiles? We figured out how to get the median from high to low and take the middle one. If they're in the middle one, take between the two middles. The one on either side and take between it. Okay? So now we've done that. How do you get quartile 3 and quartile 1? What did we get when we got the median? Which quartile did we get? We got the second quartile.
Oh, right, sorry.
Okay? How do I get the third quartile and the first
What,
quartile?
bell curve? No, wrong thing.
Divide both.
What's that? What is it? Never
It's
mind.
okay.
I was like, I looked right at her because I was like, you're explaining that really well. You just divide them, right?
Divide what?
You divide the first one and the second one.
I don't know which is the first
Well,
one.
you divide this half of the side of the
You
median and
could-
this half of the
You
side.
could start at the second quartile and then you go to the top and then find that.
And
Yeah.
then
Or
have
bottom
the,
and
so
find
it's
that.
it's half
Basically,
of the upper half. And we know how to get the median,
I'm about to.
okay? So now just get the median of the top half,
You just fold the sheet.
right? That's what you said. There's a good way to think about it. Don't say that.
But
It's the median of the top half. And that's the third
so
quartile,
you just,
okay? Or you go from high to low and divide by 4, and you count down that first fourth. And that gives you the second quartile, the third quartile, doesn't it?
so the fourth quartile,
Nope, no fourth quartile,
You count down the first fourth, and it gives you the
third quartile.
third.
The bottom of the top fourth is the third quartile.
wait, so the third
Draw
quartile is the top dog?
Draw it.
Wait,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with this step part. Okay. So,
Of all the times, I'm all in a big hurry
All the
on it.
damn thing.
What I do, you bring in, oh,
it's the third quartile.
Can you provide that answer?
This is the
yeah,
second.
this is.
Right, so the lines of quartiles, okay, got
I'll
it.
do it. I'll-
Boom.
Remember what he said last week, just draw the damn thing. Maybe it was darn.
I said damn.
Maybe it was darn thing. It was a D word.
Recording's got it, they're bleeping.
I can't wait to watch this video.
Is it New York?
It's in New York. It's Houston.
It's the water. Not Houston.